You're listening to Force Majeure, an actual play Star Wars podcast. My name is Adam and I'm your host, and today's episode will be brought to you after these words from our sponsors.
Announcing Glob Grenades version 2.0. Everyone loves Glob Grenades, and everyone will love our new improved version. They now come in a wide variety of gluten-free flavours, including watermelon and elderflower, and the new formula is much more breathable and biodegradable for your humane and environmentally friendly hunting and capture needs. 2 out of 10 bounty hunters now recommend them over carbonite. They're on sale now.
Warning, still not an adequate substitute for daycare.
Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 31 of the Coldfire Chronicles. My name is Adam and I am the GM for this adventure, and I'm joined around the virtual table by...
Hi, I'm Ross. I play Agatha, a Moraialan warrior aggressor colossus whose emotional strength is his pride, but whose weakness is his obsession.
Hi, I'm Mim. I play Lassa. She is a human sentinel artisan. Her emotional strength is a curiosity, but her weakness is obsession.
Hi, my name is Ed Fortune and I play the character of Baron. I am a human seeker and my specializations are hunter and Ataru striker. His emotional strength is justice and his emotional weakness is alienation.
Hi, I'm Mikey. I play Jiren. He's a Chase Mystic Advisor. His emotional strength is his enthusiasm, and his emotional weakness is his recklessness.
The scene opens with the clashing of lightsabers as in the shadow-shrouded meditation chamber, stretched all out of proportions by the impact of the dark side vergence our heroes find themselves in, we see Beren and 10th Brother locked in mortal combat, lightsabers flaring. With a deft blow, Beren hits 10th Brother in the face, tearing the mask off and sending it skittering across the floor of the cavern. Some of the illusion and the shadows around 10th Brother shrink down, revealing him to be not an 8-foot figure of myth and horror given form, but just a Twi'lek in old, battered Jedi robes, still dripping with some shadows, but that aura, that enhancement given to him by the mask, fading. With a roar of anger and pain and rage, 10th Brother riposts, driving his lightsaber pike through Beren's hip. Beren staggers back, out of immediate melee range, catching his breath.
Can I just add a quick flashback to Beren, if you don't mind?
Of course.
As the blade hit my hip, there's a flash to Beren's childhood on the Carrion Spike, which is the place where they make moths, essentially. It's where they make the elite of the Empire by torturing them, essentially, removing their humanity. And the same place where that lightsaber hit is where he has a massive scar from where the horrible hunting horror leapt upon him and his family abandoned him to die. Essentially, it's the same scar, it's the same place, and like the same image of being all alone with death right in front of him and expecting to die at this point. And then he's back in the room, he's back where he is, and he does something very uncharacteristic because his goggles are off, and he just looks at Agatha and winks.
This is an awkward pause as everybody else tries to work out what on earth that meant, including Agatha.
What Ed's meaning is he's surrounded by people that he actually cares about. That's the trick.
10th Brother locks you with a fevered stare. There is froth built up at the corner of his mouth as he screams at you. It's bad enough that you have tied my destiny to yours and are blocking my every move. You will not take the mask, Padawan. You will not. It is 10th Brother's turn. He reaches out with his hand and you feel the force wrap around you. Ed, what's your resilience, please?
2 green.
So 3 successes to make the power work, 3 dark side points, including the verges, which is what he's using. He reaches out with his left hand, and as with when he used the force to throw Agatha far away with the grenades live and sparking in Agatha's fists. And it was like a tidal wave of the shadows that boiled up and pushed him away. The same thing happens in reverse here, in that this wave of shadow starts behind you, Beren, and drags you back into engaged range with him, right up to his face, as he stares up into your eyes. That stink of rabid beast overwhelms your senses, but he doesn't have a manoeuvre, and that's all he can do. But you are now locked back in engaged range with him. Next player character. Just as a quick recap, Jiren, you are at short range away from him because you were just behind Beren. You'd moved out when you gave the inspiring cry, and Mim Lassa is also short range away from him, but effectively behind him because he ignored you to charge straight in and cut Beren's rifle in half.
So medium range away from me then, if that makes sense. We're on either side of him, yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to go first, Lassa?
So we've just seen him do some forcey stuff, but we've also just seen his mask come off. So I'm a little torn between trying... Because I know that mask. Lassa has seen that mask in her vision, and she is very aware that it potentially has a great amount of power to offer. But at the same time, when she saw it in her vision, it was... I'm going to use her words, which would be broken and busted to buggery. There's something inherently wrong with it, which makes it risky. And in her vision, she decided not to use it and not to do anything with it because it seemed pointless to try and use broken parts to fix a problem. But now it's there. Just there. That's more tempting somehow. It's very difficult. And you can see for a moment she is staring at it and uncertain as to whether she's going to break off to try and grab it. But she's not. She shakes her head and is like, nope, got other things to do. She's not going to forget it's there. Instead, she's going to pull out her net gun and shoot that at 10th Brother. That ought to get his attention.
Double entangle.
You know, he's either going to laugh or it's going to, you know, he'll have to at least do something. So.
You are at short range from him. He's adversary 3, and he does have defense. So your difficulty is 2 red, 2 setback.
I am going to say in advance this is 1 yellow, 1 green against 2 black and 2 red. So this could end up horribly, horribly wrong. But she's just hoping to get his attention.
Reminder, we have light side points.
We do, but this doesn't seem like the moment to use it. I mean, I'm going to be rolling rubbish, but I think there's possibly more danger ahead.
Okay.
Even if it misses, I might still get his attention. He might be so insulted at the fact that I've tried to use a net gun on him that he might have a go at me. Anything to stop him from... Baron is our big fighter. He's got a lightsaber. I need to give him any advantage we can. That's just not fair. Oh no. It has. What a waste of a triumph.
We've got a triumph.
Yeah, but it's cancelled out. The success part of it is cancelled out. So it's a triumph, a failure, and 3 disadvantage.
So how about this for your triumph, which I think will feed into your intention anyway. The net gun goes off. It does not entangle him further for any length of time, but it throws him off balance enough that the difficulty of his next attack is going to be upgraded.
Yep, I think that works. That gives Baron a little breathing space, just a couple of moments.
It will turn effectively one of 10th Brother's purples into a red when he goes to strike.
Yeah, that works. I think I made him angry.
Great.
He was angry before we arrived, but yes, okay.
Angry.
That's the one.
I think those threats are going to be used to strip Beren's defence, however, as Beren also gets caught in the net gun.
Oh, what?
And that's why it doesn't wrap around 10th Brother properly. It catches them both, because 10th Brother has dragged Beren effectively nose to nose with him, and the net catches both of them. It throws off 10th Brother's strike enough that he's going to make it difficult, but it also means that Beren is off balance in response. And I think that's what I'm going to do rather than tick up the sadness clock.
Oh no! I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
Oh no, this is cool. This is very cool.
No, Lasser apologised for something. This is the biggest character growth I've seen in 3 series.
Jiren.
Okay, I'll ask you this. How badly injured does Baron look?
I don't think he's looking chipper. Ed?
I'm on half health. If I take another blow like that, I'm dead.
Yeah, you've taken a pretty good hit, and your face is grimacing pain. And yeah, okay, right. I'm gonna walk into engaged. I say walking into engaged. More accurately, Jiren looks at the situation. You can see the shoulders on the clone armor just sag, and I'm gonna walk up to where Baron is. At the same time, just unfastening the arm shoulder pad and taking the arm off the armor. They probably have gloves, don't they? I'll take the glove off instead of the arm thing. It makes more sense. I'm going to use my robotic arm to inject my stim into his leg, where the image was, just to get some of the pain out of there and to essentially keep him alive for another round, especially because I'm now engaged as well, so it might keep you alive for another round.
So that heals you 5 wounds, Ed.
Oh wow, cool. There's part of Baron's brain where he's still on the spike right now because he's so close to death, and it's like, because it's a friend helping him out, that kind of snaps him out, if you see what I mean.
It's underneath a clone trooper helmet, but Jiren gives a winning smile to the man who's about to hit him with a lightsaber.
There is a grim acknowledgement. It's not quite a wink, it's more of a grim kind of right then, if you see what I mean.
Actually, what Jiren says is as he's doing it, he's going, "You're doing really well, don't worry. I think we've got him on the ropes." Almost very conversational, because, you know, if I focus on actually what's happening, I would be less calm.
It's 10th Brother's turn. He cannot manoeuvre, which means he cannot aim. Beren, he howls into your face, and as you take a step back, kind of shrugging off the net, he's going to hit you with his lightsaber.
Okay.
Which he springs kind of down and round in a rising slash. Now, you don't have any defense at the moment because of the threats that went in.
I'm so sorry.
His difficulty, therefore, to hit you at the moment is a red and a purple. You have 4 light side points. Would you like to flip one to upgrade his difficulty?
Absolutely.
Yes.
What that looks like, by the way, is, you know how I've got the antique pistol in my offhand? I can't aim because I'm too close, but I do have like a lightsaber, so I'm essentially peppering shots and bouncing them off the lightsaber itself. No intention of hitting, but because it's noise and energy, that's what I'm using as a defense because I've got nothing else. So literally it's kind of like a gutter shot from my offhand into my own lightsaber blade to make it flare, to give myself just a little bit of advantage.
That's cool.
So, the good news is that you have 2 threat of 10th Brothers to play with.
Right.
The bad news, Ed, is that's 13 wounds breach 1.
Oh, that's me out.
That's you out.
And I've only got 12 hits.
Okay, well, the upside is you cap at your threshold, so you're out, you're unconscious, but if you get healed, you heal from your threshold down. So any overspill, you don't start healing from -4. Because he's put you down with a blow, that causes an automatic crit, and his lightsaber is vicious 3.
Nice.
Oh dear.
What bit of me am I about to lose?
He brings his lightsaber up in an arcing uppercut that goes across your chest and across your face, spilling you backwards. You have taken a fearsome wound. Until the end of the encounter, the difficulty of all your presence and willpower checks increased by 1. Could have been considerably worse, but D1 rolled low.
If you don't mind, that's going to be to his neck and where the greaves. So like all of his face armor and the armor there is just blasted, and he's going to have like essentially a wicked looking, almost like he's had his throat cut scar, I think.
Yeah.
An executioner's mark, I believe. Can I spend the threat in a very dramatic fashion?
Absolutely you can, yeah. What do you want to do?
So as the blow goes across, I've already been looking to Agatha, who's the other person who can wield a lightsaber. and I'm throwing it to Agatha as a thing and kind of like trying to angle my fall. So I'm angling my fall away from Jiren, essentially throw the lightsaber skittering towards Agatha to grab in a dramatic sort of, the musical score goes up moment.
And for those two threat, I will say that Agatha can grab the lightsaber. His hands are currently empty, having thrown those grenades. So yeah, you throw the lightsaber to Agatha, who snatches it out of the air. Top of initiative, player to go.
Should it be Agatha?
I mean, come on!
I'd quite like you to.
Sorry, yeah, I've got the lightsaber. Carry on.
Let me put it this another way. We have 2 player slots before I can hit it. If I take the second one, somebody else can boost me before I do something, if that's an opportunity. So, that's the question I'm asking. Or should I just hit him?
I think you should just hit him, and I also think you should not use the lightsaber and use your punchings.
Well, I was going to headbutt him, and then I got a lightsaber in the hand. But yeah.
I'll be honest, in terms of damage output, the lightsaber surpasses your fists.
But he's terrible with it.
Yeah, he's not that good with it. I was going to... Agatha's manoeuvre... Okay, in my head, as the dramatic music, as everybody imagines the climactic moments of Name Pick Your Star Wars film, he was glancing around to all of his companions, realising, right, okay, this is the moment to jump and strike, this is the decisive moment, and was about to launch, probably with intent to grab the Leku and try and headbutt this guy from the back, because he was currently engaged with Baron. But now there's a lightsaber in his hand.
You're short range, so you can always spend 2 strain to get a second manoeuvre to do your headbutt, because it's a manoeuvre or an incidental. Is it your headbutt?
Am I going to headbutt it and lightsaber him at the same time? Is that what you're suggesting?
Why not?
That's a fair point.
Nut him, and then as his head goes back up, stab him.
Yes, this is last ditch, because Agatha's physically unwounded, strain-wise, trembling, but he's, and as his upper limits.
That is fair, actually. Your strain's really bad.
His strain is really bad. Nevertheless, this is being his moment. He's summoning all his willpower and just going, right. So I would like to spend the 2 strain to charge in, screaming, with what is very possibly going to be his last moment, because he's aware that charging into a lightsaber fight, even against someone who's facing the other direction, is not necessarily the thing you walk away from, but you've hurt all my friends.
Remind me what headbutt does.
Perform a headbutt to suffer an incidental. He takes 2 wounds to do a knockdown and disorientate on the enemy.
It's an incidental, Ross. You don't need to spend the strain.
Okay, so headbutt is incidental. I suffer 2 wounds to knock him down, and also run him through.
So your headbutt will knock him prone and disorient him till the end of your next round, which means that triggers, I think, your prey on the weak.
Yes.
And also will give you a boost die to hit him, because he's prone, in as prone as he can be, given that he's glopped from the knees down, but he's slumped back from the force of your blow.
Okay.
So, 2 red and a purple, 2 setback and a boost for his adversary ranks in his defence, plus him now being prone. Are you using the lightsaber or using your fists?
I'm using the lightsaber. Brawling has a lot more chance of rolling successes, but I have a lightsaber. Would like to use a force point to replace one of my green with a yellow.
Yep.
I've got a triumph in addition to a net 1 success and 5 threat.
Okay. Right. So, damage first. The lightsaber, Ed, is damage, I want to say 7?
Yes, damage 7.
What's the extra damage for your prey on the weak?
1 extra damage.
So that's 9 damage going in. He is going to spend 3 strain to parry. As he did with Beren, he's going to spend 3 of those net 5 threat to riposte with his improved parry, which means that you take 7 wounds for each one in return.
Okay.
What would you like to do with your triumph?
Stab him very hard.
Crit?
Crit then?
Yes, please. Let's do that.
He has also been hit with a fearsome wound.
Oh no.
So, the remaining 2 threat are going to be used to end the ensnare effect on him,
Okay.
as the force of your blow basically breaks him out of the glop.
Okay.
What does that look like then, Ross?
I'm sort of imagining the epic comic book frame as Agatha's charged at him from rear. He's just pushed Baron to the ground, and as Agatha pounces from the rear, has gripped him with one hand to pull his Leku back in order to get a decent headbutt blow, while his right hand comes in with the lightsaber right in the back. He's turned to face me at some epic point during that, so while he is presumably disoriented and such from the sound of skulls cracking against each other, his lightsaber blow against mine has deflected some of its momentum and has channeled it away from being the epic death blow Agatha was hoping for. The gladiator brawl continues.
Yes, and as he goes down and breaks out the glop, in that kind of, as he was deflecting your lightsaber blow out from being the deepest possible cut you were hoping for, he scores across your belly as he falls down in a low looping slash that carves across your abdomen. Next player character.
Can I go, Mim?
Go ahead.
Okay, Adam, I'm right next to Berenra, right?
Yes, you are, yes. Yeah.
I mean, there is, and I have been thinking about this since I got in there, there is the urge for Jiren just to reach down and try and suck all the life out of him like a Capri Sun with my force power, but there are people as part of my family in danger, and I trust Agatha to still be standing by the end of this round. I don't think he can go toe-to-toe with him, but the only other person who can help him, really, is lying on the floor there. So I'm going to step back, and using my manoeuvre and spending some strain to pull him out, I'm going to pull him to short range. If that's all right, using 2 manoeuvres.
I don't think you need to spend the strain. I'm happy to have that part of the same manoeuvre.
Oh, cool.
Cinematically, it works for me. Because you're right by him, effectively. As you're leaping back, you're kind of dragging him with you.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I think that was cool.
Thank you very much. And then I'm going to take my last stim, and I'm going to wake Baron up. So that's only 4 health.
Baron wakes up and coughs blood.
Jiren takes the helmet off because it's silly. So I don't think we're winning, but hey, it just seems a little lost.
Thank you. His voice has gone breathy and gravelly, as he's literally almost because his head's almost come off at this point.
10th brother shuffles back slightly from you, Agatha, kicking his legs free of the last of the glop. He grits his teeth, stares at you as if really noticing you for the first time, having brushed you off with the grenades. His attention was solely focused on Beren, but you are right in his face. You've just delivered to him a humiliating beatdown. And he grits his teeth, and he surges back up to his feet in a blur of motion, bringing that lightsaber pike back up against you. You have 2 light side points left in the pool at the moment. Do you want to spend one of those to upgrade his attack against you?
Yes, please, if the team's okay with this.
Yeah.
After everything has cancelled out, that is 4 successes, 1 threat, and a triumph.
Oh, no.
So that is 11 wounds for each one. He is going to crit you.
That is all the wounds Agatha has left.
Oh. Are you on your threshold or are you over your threshold?
This will take me to exactly 20.
Then you're still up.
Right.
It's when you go over your threshold that you drop.
Okay.
As he surges upwards, his lightsaber pike raised and delivers a smash, a mighty blow across your face, just underneath the forehead, which delivered him so humiliating a blow. And Agatha, he takes your eyes.
Oh, God.
Ow.
You are blind. 2 players to go.
Okay. Lassa's going to look at Jiren, and you can tell by the pleading in her eyes, she wants to know if he's got a plan. She needs to know he's got a plan.
You're not very good at reading people, are you, as Lassa?
I've got 1 rank in perception. I can tell. I mean, if you're flirting with me, it needs a brick to a face effect, but I can notice things.
Yeah.
If you're a machine.
Jiren looks calm. He looks a little worried because we're in fights, but he doesn't look like we're not going to succeed. He certainly seems like he's not panicking. So, he possibly has a plan? Maybe?
Jiren, I love you.
Not the time, but thank you.
I don't trust you right now. I don't trust this situation. Okay.
You decide whether you think he's got a plan or not. It's fine. You know him enough to know that he maybe just doesn't have a plan. He's looking like he does do.
Okay. Rather than getting involved, she turns to look at the mask on the floor. How broken is it?
It is completely unharmed and untouched. There is not even the slight carbon scoring from the lightsaber hitting it. It looks brand new. It calls to you, Lassa.
Oh.
You feel a pull.
Oh, I know it's broken and I know it's not going to do any good, but I don't know what else we're supposed to do. I've only got a tiny little old out blaster. I can't do anything. I'm not a fighter. I can't do this. I do stuff. I do tools. That is a tool. So, how many maneuvers to reach it?
1.
One maneuver to reach it. Would it take another maneuver to put it on?
No, it's an incidental once it's in your hand.
Alright. Because she knows it's not a nice item, because she's seen stuff in the vision, she's trying to work out what she can do to protect herself against it. But I don't think I can do anything. I'm just going to have to go with me. And just me. She's going to run to the mask, literally throw herself towards it like someone aiming for the base plate and hoping they can not be struck out for it. Grab the mask and put it on, going, God help us all.
Mim, as you put the mask on, time seems to stop for you. You are in a frozen moment, and you feel like you're being asked a question. And the question is this: to bond with this mask, to unlock its power, you need to cut off a connection. You need to sacrifice a bond. You need to prove to this mask that what it wants to offer you, which is power, considerable power, you are prepared to suffer for. There is no gain without loss. In the same way as 10th Brother, when he took the mask up, symbolically shared his Twi'lek manatee, his connection to his past, his connection to who he was, with the metaphorical shearing off of his Leku. What will you sacrifice? Or you can refuse, in which case the mask just remains a mask. In your hands, yeah, probably diverting 10th Brother's focus away from the blinded Agatha, the wounded Beren, the desperate Jiren, and focusing that wrath on you. Those are your options. And you know you have to choose. What's your choice?
Oh dear. Oh gosh. The thing is, she doesn't have much she can lose. Because she's never, she can think of physically injuring herself or something, but that feels, well, what's it going to do? She could always build herself another hand. Does that count? If you lose something you think you can probably replace?
If you can replace it, is it a sacrifice? What you give to the mask is gone. There are no clever workarounds. There are no quick fixes. There's no cunning plan. If you want to bond with this mask and gain the power it gives, the power that might help you save your friends, what you give up in return is gone forever.
The only thing that she's got which is precious to her, she's looking at right now, which is Jiren and Beren and Agatha.
In terms of things that are available to be sacrificed, you've got, for example, things like the ability to become a ship again at some point. That kind of connection to other, via the Force, to all the potential you've got.
I don't think the Lasser getting rid of the Force wouldn't really be a big thing. She's like, oh fine, I'm pretty good without it anyway.
Yeah, and this is a part of the Force. It's kind of connecting you to a deeper part of it, isn't it?
There's also a theme here of not every price is worth paying. Not every road is worth taking. Not every sacrifice. It's all very dramatic to be like, I sacrifice my... Sometimes that's not the brave choice.
No, sometimes it is just putting it down and stuff.
I'll be honest, I think the thing you're sacrificing at the moment is that you're standing there with the mask and he's going to try and get you. So you don't necessarily need to bond with it or anything like that. You could just...
Yeah, but there's a lot of power there and she is very curious. She always said she wouldn't use it, but... What if I did give them up? What if I made a promise to the mask that after this fight, I'd go back to living on some backwater little planet and I didn't see my friends again?
That would be acceptable. It is a similar path to what 10th Brother chose.
He cut something off. This is just knowing they'd be safe and I can be on my own, but they'd still have each other. And, we've introduced Agatha to the stopover. Everyone's made a really good and she's had a great time getting close to people and having family. But she could say goodbye if she gets the power to save them. But then again, she's not particularly useful with this amount of power. Oh,
Not sure the mask's caring about that.
no, but it's like, it's all... if anything, she shouldn't be the one to have this power. But I don't know whether Agatha could handle it. Okay. No, alright. Even if I got the power, I couldn't use it? What the heck am I? I'm a mechanic. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with it? She's like, oh, there's all this power at my fingertips. And then this little voice in her head goes, well, fan-bloody-tastic. What you going to do? Build the world's most powerful kettle. What are you going to do? You're going to throw a spanner at him? What are you going to do? There's no ships, there's no droid, there's no power, there's no nothing. What are you going to do with this? All you can do is keep it away from him. So, no, we will not be making any sacrifices today. We will not be doing any of that. What we need to do is get this to someone who can use it, which is Agatha or Baron or Jiren. Jiren.
For the benefit of the listeners, there is a lot of nervous shaking of head from Mikey right now.
He's looking around. He just glances at you. In fact, his eyes are focused on you as you've just done that.
I think we've worked out we're not going to use it because she suddenly realised how ridiculous that would be. Because ultimate power wouldn't do jack for her. Because she doesn't know what she'd do with ultimate power.
Break it?
This thing just took a lightsaber blast when it was knocked off. I don't think I can break it.
You're the engineer.
I am the engineer. You're right. Oh, I hate breaking things without having a chance to explore them. That's gonna hurt. Oh, that's painful too. I don't like that. Oh no. Oh gosh. All right. Nope.
What are you doing?
Okay. I've spent a maneuver to get to it. I've still got an action.
You do. You've still potentially got a second manoeuvre if you don't have anything specific you want to do with your action, or if you want to spend strain.
Can I take a second manoeuvre, spend a strain, and still have an action?
Yep.
I'm going to do that. Going down to 8 strain. Second manoeuvre is to get further away from 10th Brother.
Which direction are you running in?
I'm going to go diagonally then, so I can hopefully get to medium range, but slightly closer to Jiren.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if I'm in his square and Jiren's over there, I'm just going to try and get out of his range, so he'll have to disengage with people to come to me, but so I've got support rather than just...
You can get to Jiren and it will put you with Jiren and Beren, or you can kind of be perpendicular.
I want to be perpendicular. I still need there to be space, so he can't just cut through all of them on his way towards me. And for the action then, I want to examine this thing, see what it's made of, to see if I can see a weakness to destroy it, as much as I really don't want to. I've got pretty good mechanics.
It would be law, because this is a force relic.
I'll give it a go with law, or I could just shoot him.
The net gun you have doesn't require reloading. You can just fire the net gun again.
Is he still up close and personal with Agatha?
He is, yes.
Well, hell, Agatha fired a net gun at me long ago. Fair turnabout, mate. Let's do it. All right, let's fire the net gun one more time. Oh, come on. So I'm still wearing the mask, but I'm not bonded to it. I have told the mask in uncertain terms to sit down and shut the hell up while I get on with stuff.
As you refuse the mask, time speeds back up again, and you carry on running in that motion, in that forward motion. You spin, pivot, and aim the net gun. I'm flipping a dark side point to upgrade the difficulty,
Of course.
and also to give you some light side points back in the pool. He's at medium range. He's adversary 3. I'm not applying the additional difficulty upgrade for firing into melee. Firing into when they're engaged with one of your allies, because, your difficulty currently is 3 red anyway, And with Agatha being blinded, he's not tying him up to the same extent. So your difficulty is 3 red, 1 black.
That is 2 failures.
But only 2 failures, no threats, no despairs.
No threats, no nothing. Those were all cancelled out by each other, which was very nice.
Okay, you fire the net wild. But that's not really surprising given everything that's going on in your head at the moment. But yeah, the net just swooshes past him.
I'm dropping this net gun now, so that my hands are free to pick up a different weapon.
He turns, like the second you touch the mask, his attention snapped to you, and he pivots to face you and starts to get in almost into a runner's crouch, having dismissed completely the blinded Agatha behind him.
Alright, bring it on.
Last player turn.
Baron would like to kip up the way that you've seen him do many times before. It's an incidental move for those tracking this. He spins, moves the antique blaster from his offhand to his main hand, and just says, "You just die now," and shoots him.
It is 2 red, 1 setback. It's difficulty. You're at short range.
I'd like to flip a light side point. Okay, wish me luck. 6 advantage because it's superior.
6 advantage. Okay.
1 success.
Yep.
And that's it. I could spend dark side, but I'm not gonna.
Don't want to spend them on more successes.
More damage.
Oh, I'm not gonna spend the dark side. I've got 2 light side. I've spent the light side.
So, what's your damage first of all?
9.
3 successes in total?
Yes.
Because it's 1 success and you're putting 2 of the light side pips into more successes.
And then 6 advantage. I only need 3 to crit.
So you can double crit.
I am double critting. What I'm trying to do is, as he turns his heel to take Lasser, and I just say, "You just die now," I'm aiming not at his head, but at his legs. Basically trying to take out his knees.
The crit you've inflicted upon him is winded. Until the end of the encounter, he cannot voluntarily suffer strain to activate any abilities or gain additional maneuvers, which means he can no longer parry.
Good.
Which is, I think, manifested by the fact that he doesn't manage to deflect that blaster bolt as it goes in. He brings his lightsaber up, but his attention is so focused on Lasser he doesn't get it up in time, and your blaster bolt slams into him. He's not looking particularly well. It hits him in his torso, and he staggers back a little bit and has started limping slightly.
I'm rapid firing with the pistol now. Just madly. Again, this is like discipline's out of the window. It's wounded beast time. And there is a flash as I try and there's a very brief look as I try and figure out where that lightsaber is. And then I notice what's happened to Agatha.
It's 10th Brother's turn, and he casts you a look, Beren, as this bolt goes in. But as he braces and kind of starts to move towards you, his attention is once again dragged back to the mask that Lasser's holding. And he just runs at Lasser, giving up his action for the second manoeuvre. Mim, he has caught you up. He's not able to do anything about it. He doesn't yet have the wind left to swipe his lightsaber at you, but he is on your heels. Back to the top of initiative, player character to go.
Lasser?
I actually think Lasser as a move, playing Keepy Uppy, I know I was joking, but as a move, Keepy Uppy, this is how we win. If he's going to chase the mask, then
Yeah,
sod it.
because we can go faster than him.
I haven't taken any wounds yet, so I can keep running around.
Get it to where we are, pass it on to me, and then I'll move extra.
Fair.
And we'll be a fair way away from him.
Okay.
Just taunt him away while we try and deal with him. It's the only way forward, I think.
Okay. I've still got 2 stim packs in my reserve. I'm guessing they might be helpful with the 2 somewhat injured people. So I'll take your place then.
Okay. Are we alright with Lasser going first then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to talk to him too. We need to keep him distracted, off guard, not thinking. So I'm going to spend a manoeuvre to go to Jiren.
He's 2,
He's 2 manoeuvres away. All right.
because you carried on running past him.
Okay. So I'll take another strain. We're going to pass off the mask like we would a baton.
Yep, you can do that as an incidental. I'm quite happy with that.
All right.
And that'll keep you your action to administer a stim or something, or...
That would be good.
Oh, actually, buggers, no, because you haven't got a stim in your hands. If you don't want to spend the strain and just want to have 2 manoeuvres to run over and pass over the mask as part of, which I'll let you do as free as part of that second manoeuvre, just kind of run in and tag in.
I'll do that. I'm going to pass off the mask. I just want to yell at Ted's brother. So is this what you did? Is this what you paid for the mask? What happened to Dougie? You remember him, right?
Next player character.
Right, so we're 2 moves away from him right now, right? I would like to use my deception to take focus off everybody else. I think it's going to be fairly easy to do, but I'd like to use it anyway because it might give us some advantages. And say to him, "Thank you, Lesser. Now we destroy this." And I'm starting backing up.
Strangely, you don't get the same moment of question as Lasser did. It's just being passed over.
Mm-hmm.
There's a faint tingle, but there's none of that moment of choice being offered.
There's nothing I have that I want to give up anyway. The reason I am where I am is because I want the stuff I've got.
So it's a deception test? Probably, I suppose. Are you being honest about it? In which case...
I don't think I can destroy it, so I'm not being honest about it. But I want him to think that I can, because I'm certainly the one with the most lore. There's possibly a potential I could destroy it in some way, but Duran at the present time doesn't think he can.
It's against his perception. 1 red, 2 purple is your difficulty. I'm going to give you a boost die on there as well.
So I get 2 boosts because I get an automatic boost on there. I have 2 force power things in there. I'm going to use knowledge as power. Okay. So, that is not great. I may have to use some of those dark side to make it into a success.
You will need to use all 4 of those points.
So I got 3 failure, 1 triumph, 1 advantage, 1 light side, and 3 dark side.
Oh dear.
I'm going to use them. I am going to use them.
Oh, remember, there is always the free dark side point for this being in the Virgins as well, so that's 4 dark side points tempting you.
Well, what's the advantage of having an extra thing on there? I've already got a triumph on there. Hell of it, go big, go home. Let's use them all. We will use them all, including the light side as well. I think because of the glimmering hope of we're working as a team. This is his family. This is the thing that brings him to the light side. But we're also trying to kill this guy, and we're trying to use something rather bad about you doing it. And so that is, in total, 1 success and 1 triumph. And an advantage, but the advantage, I think I'll pip back some of the strain, I think.
Again, his gaze kind of snaps to you, and he snarls, "Dougie abandoned me as they all abandoned me. You will not take this mask. It is the only thing I have left." And his gaze is locked on you now, Duran. Did you say you were using your manoeuvre to run out the other side of the pack, effectively?
I'm going to back away with manoeuvre, so I'm now at long range from him.
Yeah.
I've got a triumph.
You could upgrade the difficulty of his next check as he becomes single-mindedly focused on you to the point of losing his reason.
We will do that. In the form of he's losing all reason. This is his focus. I want him to almost forget everybody else, really, to be honest.
That is baked into your successes. He is single-mindedly focused on you at this moment in time.
And I'd like it to be held up in front of me, like I could put it on at any moment, but also grip tightly as if I could snap it at any moment. You know, he doesn't know what I'm going to do with it.
It is his turn. He starts running towards you, closing the distance to medium range, and then he shakes his head. "I am not an animal to chase you down. You will come to me." What's your highest, discipline or resilience?
Discipline. 2 yellow.
As he tries to drag you back over to him with the force.
Cool.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh. Okay. So he gets 1 success and 4 dark side points, which is enough for the power to work. As he, again, this tidal wave of shadow hits you from behind, lifts you, whooshes you past your friends right into engage range with him.
Cool.
There's also, however, 2 threats, a triumph and a despair.
Can I suggest what we do with the despair? As soon as I start moving, I drop the mask. So I'm right next to him, but the mask is all the way back over there.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, he's dragged you right in. So I think what I'm going to do with that triumph, Mikey, is this wave of shadow that's dragging you towards 10th Brother at high speed. Just as you get to him, he realises that you've dropped the mask all the way back there. And he just steps to one side. And the force of the wave slams you right past him and smashes you into one of the stalactite outcroppings behind him.
Cool.
inflicting 10 wounds before soak. So you do get your soak off this as you just crunch into that and then presumably bounce off and stagger back a step. You are at short range behind him and effectively now long range from everybody else. As he just lets that wave slam you over, and his gaze is now once again fixed on the mask.
I shouldn't be at long range from everybody else. I should be at medium range from everybody else because he was at medium range from me before and short range from them because he's taken a step up.
Yes, that's right. You're quite right. Yeah, so you're at medium range from everybody else behind him now. It's a good job this meditation chamber is all very spatially weird, given the power of the dark side versions, because otherwise we'd all just be like in one small 10 by 10 foot circle instead of having all of this conceptual space to play with. It's how very narratively convenient, as I want to say on occasion. Next player character.
I'm going to suggest mine, because Agatha's reaction at this point is simply going to be, I want to use all the force power I can pull to just try and pull the lightsaber out of his hand. I know rules-wise, he's not going to be able to parry a blow with it, but I still want to just disarm him a bit.
It means he can't hit someone with it.
Yeah, that too. And it means that I've got it and he hasn't.
Also, it means you have all the lightsabers.
We've got to catch him all, Ed. I'm going to do that before Brown shoots at him, because it's one more distraction, it's one more possibly advantage that we're going to have. It keeps him off balance. What I'd like to do, Agatha's used to seeing him being in battle. Okay, so he'll have had cuts across the head, he'll have had blood in his eyes before. Whether the fact that this is actually a permanent injury, whether it registers or not, I'm not entirely certain. But at the minute, he knows he's vulnerable anyway. He's not going to be moving anywhere. I'd like to use Force Sense to see just the people around him, which is, I think, the only way really that he's going to know where 10th Brother is in order to pull a lightsaber off him anyway, because it's not like he can see it. He might be able to hear it thrumming, maybe, but...
At present, you don't have enough upgrades in sense to be able to sense out of short range.
Correct.
And he is at the moment at medium range.
Yeah.
Because everybody's been running around and chasing him around in this room which has spatial anomalies in it, that's why it's as big as it is. I don't think that you'd be able to know more than a rough direction of where he is.
Okay.
So I think if you want to lock onto him, I will let you move to short range to where Beren and Lasser are, because they're close enough and loud enough that you can get to them.
Yeah.
If you then make your sense action and you can ping him, I will let you keep that ping up for free. It's not necessarily going to downgrade the difficulties of the fact that you are blind and cannot see and scared of the dark before we forget, but it will at least give you the narrative permission to know where he is in this room where everybody's just running around, scampering, and it's extremely chaotic.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah. Okay, so he's not going to look like he's blundering around in the dark, even though it's rough terrain and he can't see anything where he's going, because he's been used to arena fights where occasionally he's not been able to see out of very short-term blasts. So at the minute he's putting out of his head the fact that this is permanent.
You don't know.
Yeah, well, that's true. We don't know, and droid eyes are a thing.
Well, you don't even know if your eyes have gone, really, because you can't really see. It's just a pain you can't see right now.
Yeah, fair. So I'm going to work with that then. So I'm moving towards where I can hear, towards the smell of ozone from wherever the lightsaber's burning through the air and everything else. I'm moving forwards towards the noise. I think that's the best I've got at the minute. It's not like anybody's going to be shouting directions to me, because everyone's concentrating on their own survival for the most part. So I'm going to start with Force Sense. So that's 2 dark side pups, plus the dark side one that's in the room. I mean, Agatha's on barely any strength left at this point anyway. I mean, I can use 1 to sense all living things within short range, and that's the most sense it's going to give me.
So yeah, just use the 1. Take 1 strain. So your sense kind of ping washes out from you. And effectively, because you're having to draw on the dark side for this, what you're doing is less picking up the life signs so much as going, there's a localized ball of hatred, there's a localized ball of fear, there's a localized ball of anger, there's a localized ball of pain. These balls of pain and anger and fear sound very familiar. That one doesn't. That must be him.
For Agatha, this is like drawing light, because Agatha's tapping into that well of anger and obsession that's within him, because I want to find the most angry other thing in the room and go after that.
But yeah, you have picked up on where everybody else is and where 10th Brother is at this stage.
Okay.
So how are all the people at short range feeling then?
Just for emotional state, resolved.
No. He drew up on the dark side. What is your biggest negative emotion?
Oh, I'm still at the carrion spike. there's a part of my heart that is being tortured to burn out any single piece of good, any single piece of love. And the anger at that being done to him is like still a motivation. So it's like, how dare you? How dare you?
Indignation.
Indignation. Righteous indignation. Or self-righteous indignation, depending on how you read the character.
And it sounds like it suffered a hit. Mikey, what's Duren's...
Duren's at medium range from these guys.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Lasser, what is Lasser's most dominant negative emotion?
I'll tell you exactly what's going through Lasser's head right now, and it is this. Oh my god, we're gonna die, 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 we're gonna die. Over and over and over again. It's fear. It's panicked fear. Because she was like, yeah, I've got a plan. And then all of a sudden she was hit with, her friends are all injured. She's not powerful. She's not strong. She's not smart. She's not any of this. She's the mechanic, and she is out of her depth.
And she doesn't want to lose anything.
Okay, Baren, last play character to go.
I would like to shoot him, please. In the face with my gun.
So he's at short range to you at this moment in time. Your difficulty is 2 red, a purple, and a setback die.
Can I spend a maneuver to aim?
You can, yeah, absolutely. Give you a boost.
There's a thing we haven't been doing a lot of in this particular.
It's because you've been using maneuvers to run around going, ah!
How are we looking at for light side?
You presently have 1 light side point left.
Does the party mind if I...
Use it.
I was going to use it. Right, thank you very much. 1 advantage, 2 success, 4 light side points. So I would definitely like to spend 2 of those light side points to crit.
Yep.
And another 2 of those light side points on success. So damage, please.
So, damage first of all. What's your current total successes so far then?
That would be 4 successes.
Okay.
And I'd like to spend my advantage in order to crit, please. So the way that looks is he stops, pauses for breath. Everything slows down around him. And you know how I was talking about that indignation, that anger, that rage? He has the presence of mind to realise that that's his fatal wound, that's the injury in his hip, that's the constant nagging doubt. That's where the dark side comes in. That's the injury to his soul. And as soon as he sees that, he is able to pull upon the light side. He sees where the darkness has been going, that injury that's been hampering him his entire adult life. And he pulls upon the light because he knows where the darkness comes from now. And it immediately uses it to hurt someone.
Okay. So the crit that I rolled for you is gruesome injury, which permanently drops his willpower by 1 as your bolt whizzes in and basically punches a hole through his right laku. He staggers again just a step back, looking shocked and winded and overwhelmed with pain and fury. He's not looking particularly healthy at this point in time.
Adam, would it be a manoeuvre to pick up the lightsaber from...
It's still in Agatha's hand.
Right. From Agatha is what I wanted to like...
Do you want to go near a blinded, blundering Agatha who can't see what's going on and try and take a weapon from his hand?
That's an extremely good point. Yeah, I'll not do that.
It's Tenth Brother's turn, and he is going to drop his action to a manoeuvre and run back over and pick up the mask. And as he puts it back on, again, these swirls of shadow wrap around him. His form increases once again to being gigantic, 8-9 feet tall, and his kind of laboured, ragged, painful breathing stops being quite so noticeable. That's not to say that he's necessarily healed, but the veil of illusion that the mask has given him is hiding those weaknesses. Back to the top of initiative.
What range is he compared to everybody else at this moment then?
He's short from everyone except Duren, who by this point he's long from, because he's moved in and in. As he picks up the mask and kind of swells back up to this form, he turns back to look at you as a group, and there is resolve once again in his shoulders.
Is that an sort of emotional feeling? Because at this point Agatha won't really notice he's 8 foot tall.
You feel dark triumph from him.
Right.
Does anyone mind if I attack again, or...?
Not at all.
Okay, so Baron just goes, nope, and shoots him again, Adam.
Okay, I'm flipping a dark side point. So your dice are 3 red, 2 setback.
I'm happy you continuously taking that light side point, to be honest. You're doing the most damage to him.
So that's 3 threat, 1 triumph, 2 success. I'm not spending the extra dark side point to get a crit. I'm too close to the edge, and he knows it. He's so close. He's so close to the dark side, and he knows it. It whispers in his ear. There's a whisper there that it's really strong. So tempting. But I've got a triumph.
Get that mask off him again. If we can get that mask off him again, we might not have to kill him.
I want to take the mask off him. Like, just shoot it off his face. Did the same thing before, but in the opposite direction. So the last time it was like swiped off with the blade, and like in the opposite direction. So it's now got a cross on the nose of the mask.
Okay, yeah, your blaster bolt hits him square in the head and blows the mask off his body. And there's just this animalistic cry of frustration and anger, like, stop doing that! As the mask skitters off his body, and again that illusion snaps down, and he's revealed he's badly injured now. Well, he's not bleeding much because everything you've hit him with has been energy weapons and lightsabers which self-cauterize, but he's really not doing well. Badly hurt, mask has gone again, and just this frustration in every movement now.
Yield.
Next player character.
Jared is still out, and Agatha is still. Oh my god!
Agatha can kind of see him almost because he's within short range of him.
Yeah, I mean, my thought is still I would like to pull the lightsaber off him rather than engage and try and brawl blind. Would that require being engaged enough to scream a fear check into him? Because I think at this point he might be vulnerable to fear.
If you want to make him take a fear test,
Yeah.
you will have to engage with him.
Right. I would like to pull the lightsaber out of his hand, though. Even a blind man with 2 lightsabers is still pretty fearsome when engaged, even if he doesn't actually hit you with them yet.
Are you going to try and do it with physical strength, or are you going to try and do it with the force?
I mean, he's still got his lightsaber actually switched up.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I suppose what I'm asking you is, are you going to engage, get him to have to take a fear test and try to yank it out of his hands, or are you going to just try and trust in the force and stay at a distance and yank it out using your will?
I think I'm going to use it as force-enhanced brawl rather than pull out of his hand, because I think that's more Agatha's style. In a sense, he's leaping on the metaphorical grenade because he's charging into combat with someone he can't see, but he's trying his damnedest. He's trusting just to combat senses of what's around him at this point, in a wildly changing environment, because he can't tell at any given moment how big the enemy it really is, because he's been fluctuating that way.
So it's going to be an opposed athletics test.
Yeah, okay. So what difficulty are you applying to it? I mean, it's going to be massive, but...
It is, because brawn is his big thing, and as a result of your crit, everything you do is upgraded twice, just as a consequence of that crit.
Yeah, this may not work at all.
I think it's going to be 3 red and a purple.
Okay.
Good luck.
Agatha has 1 advantage, 3 failure, but I've got a triumph, and I've got 2 light side and 2 dark side points. So if I use the light side and the success from the triumph, that cancels out all the failures. I've got to use the dark side point to get a success. So it's a success and an advantage, but I've got to take a strain to do it.
Yep.
Agatha is blind rage at this point, in more ways than one. Sorry, hang on. No, I've forgotten that point. There was a despair in that as well, so that's gonna counter something out, though, isn't it?
It does count as a failure, yeah.
So I've got to use the other dark side point to counter it. Right, okay, so I'm almost at strain limit, so this is entirely on willpower of Agatha at this point. But it's a success with a triumph and a despair in there.
Right. I'm going to tell you right now what that despair is going to be.
Okay.
And that is, as you wrestle the lightsaber out of his hand, he's going to hit you with it.
Okay.
Which will drop you.
Yeah.
Okay. But his lightsaber will be gone. What do you want for your triumph?
Can I hit him with my lightsaber as I'm doing it? Or is there...
Yeah.
Is it glancing? It's going to be more of a glancing thing as we're sparring over the hand to hand.
Yeah, do you know? Yeah, so what it will be is he will do the base lightsaber damage to you.
Yeah.
You will do the base lightsaber damage to him. So you will be taking 7 wounds.
Okay.
Which is just over your threshold. But as a result of that, you do get another crit.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you go over threshold. The crit he does on you, factoring in you're blinded and you're durable and so on and so forth, it does you a strain. So I think you're out on both.
That's now me at strain threshold, so...
Okay.
Agatha is down for the count, in more ways than one.
What's the base damage of your lightsaber? 7?
7.
That is just enough damage to drop him. Agatha, what does that look like?
I mean, everyone's seen Return of the Jedi. Everyone's seen the moment where Darth Vader gets up and goes for the Emperor. So it's very much that kind of moment. He's stumbling around. He's sort of drawn all his anger, all his rage, all his fear, and all his with the willpower that goes with it, all his fighting instincts, but also all of the Force hope that all his friends are giving, because he has used some light side points in this. It's not entirely dark side. While his initial aim at the most was to neutralize the enemy's lightsaber, because 10th Brother's lightsaber was the main thing that was causing damage to us. There's a brief last-ditch epic brawl of hand-to-hand where he's got a lightsaber and 10th Brother's presumably clenching his lightsaber to make sure he doesn't get injured, while Agatha's just trying to grab the dark lightsaber and just to pull it off him. Somewhere in the middle of that, both of them hit each other and both of them fly back, and it's just all the dark energy you might imagine has just blown the two of them away from each other just for a moment, and a dust cloud appears over both of them.
And I think, as both Agatha and 10th Brother collapse to the floor, there is a pop, and you're in Pyjack's meditation chamber. It is back to its normal size. You are all standing much, much closer than you were. And that's where I'm ending the episode. Thank you very much to my players. Thank you very, very much to our listeners. And we will see you for the epilogue next time. Force Majeure is played using the Star Wars Force and Destiny game system by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our intro music for this season is Unholy Night by Kevin MacLeod, and our outro music remains Suburban Outlaw by Forget the Whale, both used with gratitude under the Creative Commons license. If you like the show and want to interact with us, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, all of which are at Force Majeure Pod, though Twitter is probably where you're going to find us more regularly. If you enjoy what we do and want to support the show, there's 3 ways you can do that. The first is via our Patreon at patreon.com/forcemajeurepod. The second is by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/forcemajeurepod. And the third way is by rating and reviewing us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you can find us. We really like reviews. It tells us that we're telling the stories that you want to hear and helps other people find us. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.